Hello, hello, hello. It's Josie coming on live for my sometimes Sunday Night Live, which means I sometimes come on live to do training and teaching to gather our group together around some inspirational and learning topic that hopefully will serve you. Tonight's topic is happiness hacks. As we are entering the shorter days of the year, at the time of this filming, we are getting closer and closer to the winter solstice, which means our days are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. The quality of light is dimmer, especially in northern latitudes. The days are shorter, the amount of sunlight that we receive is less, and the quality and intensity of that light is less. This can lead to mild depression symptoms, sometimes known as seasonal affective disorder. This can be a precursor to some more serious clinical depression, but for most people, it's a general sense of the winter blues. Feeling low, feeling less energy, feeling blah, feeling like a little bit of the good juju has been sucked out as the days are short. Can you relate? Is this something that you cope with in the season, in the winter season? Do you feel a little seasonal depression? Do you feel a little bit lower energy, lower mood in the wintertime? Well, tonight I've got a treat for you. I'm going to teach you some happiness hacks. These aren't just cheap shortcuts, they're actually real tactical ways you can lift yourself up from the inside out. Not just by doing something pleasurable that might be short lived, but actually changing your biochemistry so that you feel happier at the cellular level. And who doesn't want a little bit of that? I'm going to be teaching you about the four neurochemicals that are flowing through our body all the time and how we can boost them to our advantage when we're feeling low. This is called hacking or the chemistry of happiness. There are four key neurotransmitters or hormones that I'm discussing tonight, and I'm going to give you tactical ways that you can raise each one and help you understand why they're so important. They are endorphins, oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine, the big four. Without these in healthy measure, you are likely to feel low, blah, stuck, even mildly or clinically depressed. So let's take them one by one and talk about what they are, what they do, and how you can naturally boost them in your systems for a happier life. The first one, endorphins, known as the natural painkiller. Endorphins flow through your body, especially when you are exercising. You probably have already known this. You've heard of the runner's high. It's a real thing that when we exercise vigorously, our body releases a pain relieving chemical, an endorphin, that flows through our body and our brain that gives us a natural sense of wellness, well being, a lift, a boost. It can also be triggered not just by long distance running, if those of you out there are thinking, well, that's not going to be me. It can be triggered by laughing. So you can literally brain hack your way towards increasing this important neurotransmitter, happy hormone in your body by finding things that make you laugh. So one way that you can take this lesson on home would be to go mine your DVD collection for all the funniest movies that you own and think about the episodes or the scenes that really crack you up and actually make a Rolodex, make a library, make a go-to um, tool for you to dial up on command when you need to see something funny that will always makes you laugh. Okay, that could be just using DVDs, but maybe there's a favorite TV show you have or something that you can look up on Hulu, Netflix, YouTube, some scene that always makes you happy, an old sitcom. Some people really crack up with memories from their youth of a really funny TV show. So spend a little time cultivating what are your happiness hacks to give you endorphins. That's the pain relieving neurotransmitter that can be brought about with laughing or exercise. Next, oxytocin. This is the love hormone. Oxytocin flows especially in new mothers when they're breastfeeding. Oxytocin is the hormone that is encouraged and released with physical touch, with hugging, with holding, hand holding, skin touching, pressure, petting a fur baby, being around loved ones, or stacking these things all together, like having a baby sleep on you, or having your pet rest on you while you're watching a funny movie. Oxytocin is the love hormone and it can be increased with long hugs. 17 seconds or more it takes to start releasing oxytocin. So it's not just a really quick, hi, how are you, pat, pat, pat. It's actually being held. Holding hands can also release oxytocin, any skin on skin contact. This means you could actually get a massage to increase your oxytocin. If you feel like you don't have a romantic partner, you don't live with somebody that you can touch, you can actually get it by going and getting a pedicure, going and getting a massage, doing some sort of therapy that involves skin on skin contact. So there's number two in our hacking, the chemistry of happiness. Number three is serotonin. This is the mood stabilizer. Serotonin can be increased. It actually arises from the gut, from your belly, but it is most impactful in your brain. And it's serotonin that is often what is in decline with a lack of sunlight that makes us feel low or blah in the wintertime. So sometimes things that boost your serotonin, taking serotonin therapy, if a physician so prescribes, can be the solution to a happiness hack. But you can do it naturally. The way that you can stimulate the natural production of serotonin in your body is through large muscle movement. This could be anything that has like rhythmic quality to it. Walking, striding by swinging your arms, jogging, which also can bring on endorphins, swimming, dancing, cycling. You think about any activity that has rhythmic action of large muscle groups, cross-country skiing. These types of things boost this important mood stabilizing hormone that helps you feel more like yourself. The other easy way is sun exposure. However, as I mentioned at the beginning, in the wintertime in northern latitudes, the quality of light is less intense and the accountability of having sunlight is less likely. You could have a cloudy day, a snowy day, and not really have that quality of sun exposure that really helps stimulate this in your brain. But literally, if you do have a sunny day, you want to go outside without sunglasses on. You want the rays of the sun to actually be imprinted inside of your brain through your optic nerve by not shading it with glasses, but actually allowing the sun on your face and in your eyes to be able to register inside your brain where you can receive the boost of serotonin. Okay, the fourth, isn't this easy? The fourth brain hacking tip or chemical or neurochemistry, neurotransmitter hormone that I have for you is dopamine. Dopamine is tricky for many of us. It's the reward hormone. Dopamine is what's firing when we get things done, when there's task accomplishment. This is why we often feel naturally good when the laundry's all folded, or when the kitchen is clean, or when we've gotten the car oil changed, or all the leaves are raked. It's this pleasurable sense that we give ourselves when something is achieved, a task is accomplished. It's the reward hormone. This is the reason why, when I learned about this, whenever I write a to-do list, the number one thing I put on the top of the to-do list is finish writing my to-do list. So as soon as I'm done, I can cross something off. It literally is that check mark feeling of getting something done, crossing something off your list. But it's tricky because it's something you can get addicted to as well in a negative way. The negative connotation is when we task ourselves out so much that we never feel done, that we're looking for that reward, we're looking for that sense of, check, got it done, cross it off, achieved. And if it's ever elusive, if we make our lists really long, it can be a torment to us. This is also the reason why we can be addicted to our handheld devices when we want to go and scroll and look for something that gives us a good feeling, or we want to see how our posts were received. How many likes did we get? That's our brain seeking a dopamine hit, looking for affirmation that is external. So this is a little tricky. We don't want to overdo it with external affirmation because then we are abdicating our own happiness completely outside of ourselves. And we want to make sure that we're not getting into that tricky territory of needing somebody else's approval, somebody else's like, somebody else's gold star or pat on the head to feel good about who we are. This is about celebrating. If you can celebrate something internally, like, yes, I did it, it feels good, I'm accomplished, then that's the positive way to stimulate dopamine and use it to your advantage. So be careful not to overdo it. All right, so let's summarize these four positive chemicals and how you can hack them. The first that I told you about was endorphin, the painkiller. It's laughter, it's exercise. You could also use essential oils. You can use things that stimulate the pleasure centers of your brain without exercise. That's why essential oils might work. That's why dark chocolate works, is it stimulates a positive place in your brain. Watching a comedy, going outside, going for a run, these are the things that increase your natural endorphins, your natural painkiller. Number two was oxytocin, the love hormone. This is what you get when you hug, when you hold, when you play with a dog, when you hold a baby, when you hold a hand, when you hug somebody that you love, and even when you give a compliment. It's the connection hormone. Anything that you can do to feel connection and love and belonging will increase your oxytocin. Number three is serotonin, the mood stabilizer. This can be raised through rhythmic activity like running, walking, cycling, swimming. But it also can be increased just by being in sunshine or with light therapy. You can get a light bulb that mimics sunlight. And you can also give yourself a boost of serotonin by meditating. Lastly, we talked about dopamine, the reward chemical. When you complete a task, when you do something that feels like I've got this, I got this done, when you can celebrate but not overdo it, then you are stimulating dopamine. So now my challenge for you is, how might you layer these things? How might you watch a comedy while eating a little bit of dark chocolate, sitting next to a loved one, holding their hand, after you are walking in nature, seeing the sunshine with a dog? And how can you use this as medicine? How can you see this as the prescription I give myself? Not just casually dipping your toe in the water, but feasting on it because you know you want and need to harvest these chemicals and encourage this positive brain chemistry to make you feel better when the light is low, when winter starts to set in, and we naturally start to feel sort of low. I would love to hear your thoughts on brain hacks that work for you. And this brings to a conclusion tonight's Sometimes Sunday Night Live. Go well. See you next time.